Hi, everybody. Hi, Rachelle.
Hi, Miriam. What I wanted to talk about today, which is very interesting, is like the mid praise that so many people, especially our senior citizens, are like mad about controlling their blood pressure, their sugar level, their this, their that, and is there natural ways to do it? Can we do a diet? And I realized that our children, some of this comes out of the fact that there's this underlying issue that our children are just afraid that we're going to leave them. And it's an undercurrent. We're labeling it other things. Like the children have social issues
Are
and
they afraid or are we afraid that we're going to leave them?
I think that it's both. What I think we're concerned that we don't want to do anything to upset or hurt our children. So we go through all this craziness of dieting and taking the right medication, exercise, whatever, everything that we could possibly do to make it that we're doing the best, like we have some control over what's going to happen with us. But I wanted to talk to you about this is because I wonder if there's something that we can do for our children to alleviate their fear. Like we don't have control of everything. I don't have control of everything. I mean, I'd like to think that I'm going to live a long, healthy life, but the reality is I don't have. It's God who determines this. So what can I do for my children to I don't know. Is it a faith issue? Is it just not the ability to accept that we're all going to move on and it's just a continuation on a different plane? What can we do? Is it a conversation that we need to bring up and talk to our children about? What do you do with it? Instead of like running around like a chicken without a head, making it appear that you're going to be able to live longer or you have some control over that. So what can we do?
I think the number one is that, like anything, you teach much more with your actions than with your words.
Okay.
So if we stop being so afraid of death, we're going to give that energy to them too. How do we do that? I think we do that. By the way, we're sitting in Roladine, and whenever you're in Aria, you're more than invited. It's like the best coffee place with the greatest cakes. So a little commercial time. But anyway, the best way to do that, I think, is to take life with a little dosage of humor and a little less self-seriousness. We think that we mean too much in the world, and we infuse that energy with talking so much about living with meaning and living with kavana. And Kabbalah talks about it in very extensive way of how we change the world with every prayer, with every deed, with da 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 da. And that's important. It's important to live with meaning. It's important to live with a purpose, with a self of devotion, with a sense of devotion to life,
Consciousness,
consciousness, right? All of those. But then there also has to be a level of like, I'm here now, I'm doing my part, the world has been here before me and it will be here after me. And it's been fine here before me and it will even be better probably after me too.
So they're afraid. They're afraid of losing
I'll
us.
tell you, I can only tell you from my own kid. One of my kids, one time I remember talking to them about death. And they said to me, well, Mommy, I'll be sad for a little while, but then I'll be fine.
Really?
And they said it at quite a young age. And
Wisdom at that age.
so I feel that, I feel like that speaks a little bit about, hopefully I gave over that energy. I made a lot of mistakes as a parent. I don't flatter myself for everything or not even for most of it. But maybe just on that level, like I've been, I don't know, like I kind of lived with it intuitively. I can't even say that it was much work for me. There was a level of work on it,
Right.
but I don't feel like there was much for me personally. I don't feel like there was much work for me on it to live without fear towards death.
I think part of it has to do with living in Israel and the reality of death around us.
That is already on an emotional level. For me, I feel like it was a deeper spiritual sense of like, I came here to do what I came here to do. I'll do my best to do it, and when Hashem decides I'm done, I'm done. So,
I'm exhausted and I'm done.
no, when I'm done, enough. When He decides, it's not in my hands. So it's like if I live on the level of thinking that it's not in my hands when I'm born and when I'm dying. So why should I live in between, in a sense, as if I am controlling it? If I try to live in that sense of like, somebody decided for me when I'm going to be born, and somebody decides when I'm going to be gone. And if I try to live in that gap as if that somebody is also in control,
Yeah.
then I think it alleviates a lot of the fear of death.
I'll tell you, it's very hard with all the media hype where people are constantly being advertised to how you can make yourself look younger, feel younger, you can get this done, take this pill,
But
use
it's
this
a
cream.
paradox. Because what happens is that the more we think about death, we get older faster. Because our immune system reduces, our health issues increase, our health decreases. So it's a paradox. Instead of listening to all that, how you can get younger, how can you live longer, instead of just live, just enjoy what you have now. Do the best on the spiritual health level, whatever you can do for yourself. Obviously I'm learning myself all the time about nutrition and exercising and the most important, emotional well-being. Emotional well-being is what will make you younger. Exercise will take care of your blood flow. Nutrition will take care of your body. But that's about it. If you take care, but what do we mostly do? Most of the people I talk to listen more about nutrition and about physical health, right? But what about the emotional well-being? The emotional well-being, we don't spend as much time understanding.
No.
So if we spend more time understanding the emotional well-being, which is in a nutshell, let go. Let go. Let go and let God. That's on one foot, the whole Torah on one foot. Let go and let God. If you let go and let God, or also the whoever doesn't know yet about the let them theory, you know about the let them theory already? The let them theory is a great book by Mel Robbins, and it's basically about so he said, so she did, so whatever, like let them, I'm okay. It's like in a way what we're talking about when we're talking about Midat Malchut, the sphere of Malchut, is the let them theory, right? And so number one, maybe like the hardest and the easiest we should be able to exercise with is our children.
Okay.
Because so my child was chutzpahdik, right? So they were rude to me. But they're a 5-year-old. So what? Can't I stand my ground and say, a 5-year-old is not going to kick me off my feet?
How about, so what, I have a stain on my pants? So what, I dropped a glass of water this morning? So what, I burned the chicken?
Exactly.
So what? Yes, yeah. I saw somebody made a whole list.
Right? So what, I missed the bus. I remember when I started doing it in my early 20s,
yeah.
And how much it improved my well-being.
Yeah.
Of like, so I missed the bus. So I thought that this day is supposed to go that way or the other day, and my kid should do this or that or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started off from my children. I went on to my husband, and then I went on to my childhood traumas. And basically, we're able to say, so what that it happened to me, right? And what did I learn from it? And how can I become stronger from it? And let go of all that resentment and anger and pain. And when you're able to do that, you start the cycle again from a healthier place. It's once you let go of the small things, then you let go of the bigger things, then you let go of the bigger things, and then you come back to the smaller things. It's so much easier already because you're not so full of anger, resentment, and negativity. Then it's easier for you to really be calm about the fact that the bus ran away or the chicken was burned.
I'll tell you, that's one of the blessings of getting older, is that it's much easier to do that. And you recognize when you're not doing it that it's just a throwback to what you suffered when you were younger,
Right.
that you haven't gotten rid of yet.
Right. And the younger you do it, the longer you stay young forever.
Yes.
This is really the main answer to how to stay young forever. And
Reduce the stress in your life.
Reduce your or change your approach to life. Change your approach to life. Everything what helped me was to say to myself, nothing deserves my attention to the degree that it will throw me off my feet. Nothing. What matters most is how I feel in the situation. So the chicken being burnt, it's already bad enough that the chicken was burnt. If I feel bad for it, it's double bad.
And so you're saying that by portraying this attitude, that your children will see this
Right.
and pick up on it,
Right.
and it will reduce their fear of losing you? Or what?
If you learn, it's a cycle. That's why we say in Judaism we treat life not just like a cycle, but like a spiral. That's what I'm saying. You'll start here with the small things. You'll go big to the bigger traumas, bigger traumas. Then when a small thing will happen again in your life, it will be so much easier for you to check balance, the bank account, my bank, whatever, right? So it's like, okay, I've been through worse already. I've survived it, so it's not that bad. I've survived it a million times, so I can survive this too.
And you also become quicker and recognizes when you cannot do anything about it. So you've got to let it go. You just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, so why should I suffer about it?
You've tried, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Whatever happens, happens.
Remember always, pain is a given, suffering is a choice. The level of suffering that you will take from a pain that is given to you is your choice. And the more you allow yourself to suffer from different issues in life, the older you get, faster. Our emotional well-being is much more responsible for every physical occurrence in our body than vice versa.
So we have to, that means that we have to somehow manage the fear of death within ourselves so that our children don't pick up on that.
Even before that, I would say so that we live a better life. If we live a better life, and kids are much happier in our lives too, then they're not worried. Whatever we worry about money, they'll worry about money. We worry about death, they'll worry about death. We worry about missiles, they'll worry about missiles. People have taken this whole whatever Iran work in very different ways. Not everybody has to be post-traumatic. It depends, like those who went into the shelter singing and telling stories and telling jokes and whatever, have gone through it and out of it in a much healthier and faster speed than those who have gone into the shelter with oh my gosh, and even after they were out of the shelter, there's still an oh my gosh feeling. Now, if you're still in that oh my gosh feeling, right, and it could be, by the way, it could be anything. It doesn't have to, for us Israelis now it's the missiles, and whatever the wars, all everything that we're surrounded with, right? And for anybody else, or also for us, but also for everybody else, whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? And it's like whatever you deal with, it's really, really, really important to tell yourself it's over. Now is a good moment. Now it's okay. Like whether I'm in the shelter, I'm in the shelter. Now I'm good. I'm not running.
Yeah.
Right? It's like people tend to forget. We tend to forget to tell ourselves now it's not what it was a minute ago. A minute ago there was a siren. Now take that siren into any occurrence, any unpleasant occurrence in your life.
Mm-hmm.
There are many different sirens in our lives, right? Oh my gosh, I don't have enough money to end this month with. Oh my gosh, I'm being late to work. Oh my gosh, like whatever it is that, right? Could be small things, it could be bigger things, right? But we need to learn to tell ourselves that stressful moment is over. Now I'm okay. If it's running to the shelter, now I'm in the shelter. I'm okay. I can tell myself I'm okay. So I've heard this argument, right? Saying, but you're lying to yourself, right? Especially after some buildings were hit, whatever, right? And I'm like, and if I'm lying to myself, what is better? It's better to, what if I'm not lying to myself, am I gonna feel better? Am I not gonna get hit because I'm not lying to myself? Right? So I cannot change the situation. A missile will either hit me or not hit me. But I can change my feeling about it and at least feel a bit better, that my blood flow will continue in a better way, that my immune system will reduce less, that I will come out of it not post-traumatic, that I will not suffer anxiety for God knows how long after the event is over.
Then we have the worry factor. When I first heard this, it blew me away. Like 90% of what people worry about never happens. I heard that, I was like, I recognize how frequently we have this movie going in our head, worrying about something that will not even play out. That people don't even realize that they can stop and control that.
How many times I've been in a financial stressful situation and somehow I survived it, and it was okay.
And the more faith that you have that Hashem is going to help you out of it,
right?
The more
and
often it happens.
Sometimes I had more, sometimes I had less, right? But I'm okay. I survived it. Hashem always took care of it in the end. Same thing with the war. 99.9%. The building stayed safe, right?
Yes.
Same thing with COVID. 99.999%. We were safe. We were okay with every flu I have, right? I can worry with every flu that I have COVID or I have like measles, right? Measles. Or I can start driving myself with a little pain that God forbid I have the C word, like I can do that. But what are the chances that really I'm having the worst, right? And you start Googling and you're like, oh my gosh, and then what do you do, right? It's like, if the first word will be that your symptoms must be showing you that you have a flu, but you'll go down to the end of the symptoms and you'll read that, it's deadly, it's something deadly, God forbid, right? That's the way we're wired to live, right?
Yes, we are.
We're wired in the what do you call it? Like prenatal.
It's more like the pharmaceutical industry introduces it to it from a very young age.
But no, and also we're wired to think in a negative way because we're wired to think like the
survival.
That causes us to think like a lion is still chasing us.
Yeah, that's what.
And our main job in the world, right, is to tell myself things are much more in control than what I tend to think, than what my instinctive brain is telling me to think.
It's true. The primitive brain.
Right, the primitive brain.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I hope that my friends who have children that are afraid they're going to be kicking the bucket listen to this. It's it's something that's we allow our society to nurture this fear. It's like at the basis of so many different issues, and we allow ourselves to be manipulated. But then, I don't know, maybe we need some education that this isn't the end, that we continue on to another level. I don't know. I don't know why we can't really more viscerally feel that this is not the end. You're moving from one plane to another. Why can't we? I know, I'm asking you these existential questions.
We're all gonna die,
Yes.
right? When we don't know, right? And but we want to make it as many good moments as we can. Why should I spend those moments that I have now on worrying? That's what I need to constantly tell myself. That's, by the way, Vekas. Vekas is connecting to the source of vitality. That's Vekas. God is the source of vitality. I want to connect to the source of vitality. What's vitality? Vitality is vital vitality thoughts. I can think self-destructive thoughts, or I can still think self-productive or self-nourishing thoughts.
Yeah. Self-enhancing.
Self-enhancing. And that's how I connect to Hashem. That's the ultimate connection to Hashem, right? And when I'm finding it troublesome to find those positive thoughts in me, it means I haven't spoken to Hashem in too many minutes.
I know, this is how we...
Notice that I'm not even saying hours, minutes. Minutes. I mamish want to talk to Hashem every few minutes. If not every minute, maybe even every minute. And it's like really, really hard for us to say, but we say, again, I heard this argument many, many times, but it's so hard to feel that he's here, right? But it's also self-enhancing thought. If we're saying a million times the brachas of Baruch Atah, blessed you are, we mumble it up so we don't really shift our consciousness to feeling him here. Because we don't think of the Atah being in the second body language, right?
Second person.
Second person, right? Mm-hmm. Like you are here. Not he is here. You are here. You are here. Like I'm saying to Hashem, you are here. And I'm self-enhancing myself with that wiring, with that mind shift that God is right here. He's much more here than you're here. He's much more here than I'm here. He's mamish here. And I want to integrate that into my thought on the deepest level.
I know. But in a way, it's equally as elusive as the reality that everyone is all connected and all one. Everything is one, which is also elusive. But that's reality. So we're living in this separateness. Everything is an illusion of separateness. Can you imagine? You do imagine. I'd love to imagine that feeling of we're all interconnected and we're interconnected with Hashem. I'd love that.
I think, forgive me for being a little bit like devil's advocate, that elusiveness is like a very abstract, Kabbalistic way of speaking about the world.
Interesting.
And I'm trying to think of like we can take whatever, all kinds of like substances to shift our mind, right? People, they do drugs, they do alcohol, they do mushrooms, they do whatever we do, right, to feel that oneness. But I want to feel that oneness on the level of like, hey, you're feeling bad now. Let me be here for you. In that moment, we're one,
Yeah.
right? Not on that level of like, you're feeling bad. Let me tell you how bad I feel too.
No.
Because in that moment, we're not one.
No.
In that moment, you're in your pain, and I'm in my pain, and I'm not a clean slate
No.
to receive your pain. So
That's true.
right, so that like Kabbalistic narrative of we're all one. If we don't bring it into our world on a practical level,
Yes.
of like, right, I want to come to the world and a feeling of like I get nourished by Hashem,
Right.
but then I'm here to nourish you, not for you to nourish me.
Yes.
And then we're one.
Yes.
Right? It's not that like abstract feeling world, like that hippie kind of like we're all one. Right? That I don't
There
feel
have
like
been lovely songs been written back then.
yeah, but I don't feel like that's the purpose of the world.
No.
The love that's maybe it's the Atzilut world, we can call it the Atzilut world where that level of feeling one, we all want to feel it, blah blah blah. But it's never going to happen if we don't approach each other on the level of I'm here for you. You're here. You're going to say I'm here for you, and I'm going to say I'm here for you.
Right.
And we're not going to be like, oh, you want to tell me how bad you're feeling, but I don't have the energy for you, right? Or you need my help, and I don't have the time for that, right? And energy, time, whatever, right? So
Yes.
that I feel like that's like today I take it, and that's for me the bridge between Kabbalah and our lives. I feel like Kabbalah is somewhere out there, and the Hasidic narrative is the bridge between Kabbalah and our materialistic life or practical life. Kabbalah sometimes is not close enough to what it is that I'm supposed to do in the world. We're living in this abstract world of like a megalomanian even world, I would say, of like we're shifting the stars with our prayers and our words and our kavanas and whatever, you know. And I feel like only God is shifting the stars, right? And I'm not trying to be God. But I feel like Hasidus is bringing that Kabbalistic narrative closer to understanding what we're actually supposed to do in this world.
I agree. I know. So who was it that just told you the reason why you know how we cannot see ourselves? We are constructed on purpose not to be able to see ourselves. We can see our nose, or we can see our legs, but we can't really see our faces. We can't see ourselves. And we're constructed that way because we're supposed to be seeing what other people need.
Right.
Someone taught this to I just told me.
But it's a good practice, I noticed, to like look in the mirror and think thoughts and see how it shows on your face.
Ooh.
Take a negative thought and see how you express it and how it's expressed on your face in the mirror. Yeah, I've done that. And take a positive thought and see, right? And then feel your muscles here.
Yeah.
Right? Feel how your eyes go like that and your smile goes like that, or how you go, you know, right? And then like once you practice that in a mindful level, it's a sort of mirror mindfulness, right?
Yeah.
You can also do it without the mirror, because you can just feel your muscles without the mirror.
Yeah.
Right? You know how you feel when you smile. You know how you feel when you're grudging, right? So you want to be more mindful of it. And then when you're sitting in front of people, you want to ask yourself, what am I being perceived as now? Do I feel my muscles in a way that the kind of face that I would want to see in myself, in the other, right? That's what I'm giving them now.
It's funny, when I look in the mirror, I always see like, do I have to tweeze my eyebrows? Should I put lipstick on? I don't even really register my expression. I don't see my expression.
So what we should be doing is like on a physical level is we should be like, when I look in the mirror, whatever. For me, it's easier with my makeup on, right? But in general, we want to see our own beauty. When we see our own beauty, we also see beauty in others. It's much easier for us to appreciate other people's beauty if we appreciate our beauty. When when we are constantly self-judgmental and self-dislikeful, and so we keep judging or being jealous of others or being
Down on
judgmental,
ourselves.
right? And so it's like the more we perceive ourselves with love, both spiritually, mentally, and physically,
Yeah.
it's so much easier for us to perceive the rest of the world with love also.
It's like
To give love.
I read a horrible statistic yesterday that 70% of the women, this is in America, hate their bodies.
Right.
70%.
And how many percent men?
They don't.
That's actually very interesting.
They don't bring that up.
Men much more love their bodies than women. It's like 80% hate their faces, their beauty.
Right.
Women, 80% hate their beauty.
Right.
By men, it's between 40 to 70% that they love their body. It's the opposite ratio, basically. Yeah.
That's the reason why you have got like a giant bellies and skimpy baby suits.
But that's the reason also that men are much more narcissistic than women.
Yeah, they think that they look younger and they look better. It'd be nice if we could feel the same
And
way.
80-year-old men think that they could have a 20-year-old. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you get the idea. Yeah.
But in a way, I would like to be able to feel that myself. I'm kind of envious of that.
So hook up to your masculine. We all have that energy within ourselves too. We just need to choose which energy I want to hook up to a bit more. Oh man. Well, it was good being with you again today. And see you next time. Have a wonderful day. Go and love yourself. Yeah. And send it to others and like it and give us a thumb up. And send it to whoever it could be useful for.
Yeah.
And go and love yourself and love somebody next door too. Do something good for someone else and do something good for yourself.
It's healing. It really is healing.
Right.
Self-healing, healing for everybody.
And think positive thoughts about yourself and think positive thoughts about at least someone else.
Definitely.
Have a wonderful day and see you soon. Love you.